Phaedra shuts down producer's question about Cheick. During season 11, episode 11 of Married to Medicine, viewers continued getting to know Phaedra's new fling, Cheick, during the cast's couples trip. While Phaedra was open to sharing her budding romance with the group, there was one thing she wasn't willing to talk about. The February 16 episode documented the group's vacation in Key West, where things took a tense turn when Phaedra's ex-husband, Apollo Nida, and his wife, Sherian, arrived. While Phaedra was aware that Cheick and her ex knew each other, Apollo revealed to the group that their friendship was closer than Phaedra was aware. Amid the uncomfortable boat ride, the episode flashed to Phaedra's confessional. "Do you still think it was a good idea to invite Cheick to the couple's trip?" a producer asked her. Before letting out a laugh, Phaedra stated, "I'm not gonna answer that." And that was that. Before Apollo's arrival, Phaedra's friends also had some questions about her new romance. "Cheick, are you looking for a wife?" someone asked, to which he responded, "I'm not necessarily looking for a wife, but I'm open." How did Phaedra meet Cheick? Cheick was first introduced to fans and Phaedra during episode 8 when she met him during Letitia Sweet Tea, Lunsford's sweet and savory speed dating event. Does Phaedra see a future with Cheick? During season 11, episode 9, Phaedra was excited to continue getting to know Cheick, who she referred to as a beautiful, tall glass of hot chocolate. However, she also made it clear in a confessional where she stands on getting married again. "I don't ever want to be married again," she stated. "I'm very happy, single, and satisfied." How do Cheick and Apollo know each other? In an episode 11 confessional, Phaedra explained, "Cheick said he knew Apollo from the club. And who doesn't know people from the club? I didn't know they're close friends." However, as Apollo told the group during the same episode, he's with Cheick every week. He added, "That's my boy." Previously, Cheick told Phaedra about the connection during episode 9. "I know your ex," he said. While he noted that they don't hang out, he explained they always say hi when they see each other. Phaedra didn't seem to mind. "I think being transparent about knowing someone's wife is very important. But it doesn't bother me at all. Apollo's married, I've definitely moved on, so I don't see a problem with it whatsoever," she said at the time. Phaedra shuts down producer's question about Cheick, a creative story. The sun hung low in the Key West sky, casting a warm golden glow over the crystal-clear waters that stretched out in every direction. The air was thick with the sounds of the ocean and the occasional, distant chatter of the group of friends enjoying their couple's trip. The cast of Married to Medicine had gathered for a much-needed getaway, but as the tension between old flames and new flames simmered beneath the surface, things were bound to take an unexpected turn. Phaedra, the radiant and enigmatic former attorney turned reality TV star, sat perched at the bow of a luxury boat. Her sunglasses, dark and chic, shielded her from prying eyes, but those who knew her well understood that her guarded demeanor was more than just a fashion choice, it was a barrier. A barrier she would only drop when she felt comfortable, and that was something that had been hard to come by, especially now with the introduction of Cheick into her life. Cheick had entered Phaedra's world like a whirlwind. Their connection had been immediate, like the quiet attraction of a storm that no one had quite anticipated. They had met at a speed dating event, one that seemed to be a joke at first, but quickly turned into something much more meaningful. From that moment on, Cheick had been an intriguing presence in Phaedra's life. A tall, handsome, and mysterious man, Cheick was everything that Phaedra had found attractive, charismatic, grounded, and thoughtful. But as much as she enjoyed their blossoming romance, Phaedra was acutely aware of the complexities that accompanied their connection. This wasn't just any relationship. It was one that intersected with the ghost of her past, the lingering presence of her ex-husband, Apollo Nida. And now, here they were, the group of friends and lovers, cruising through the waters of Key West. Everyone had gathered in the hopes of bonding, unwinding, and making lasting memories. However, the reality of their intertwined lives was beginning to cast a long shadow over the idyllic setting. The arrival of Apollo and his wife, Cheick, had made things interesting. The tension of the unseen. As the boat bounced gently over the waves, Phaedra watched as Apollo and Cheick approached the group. Their arrival wasn't exactly unexpected, but it still carried an unspoken tension. Phaedra had long ago reconciled with Apollo, at least on the surface, but there was always that lingering sense of unresolved business between them. And now, with Cheick in the picture, the past felt closer than ever. Cheick, ever the gentleman, stood beside Phaedra, his strong frame offering her both comfort and security. But as they greeted Apollo and Cheick, the air shifted. Apollo's eyes, those familiar, calculating eyes, met Phaedra's for a moment longer than usual. A flicker of recognition passed between them, something deeper than words could express. She could feel it in her bones. This wasn't just a friendly reunion. Cheick, Apollo said with a slow smile, extending his hand. Good to see you, man. Phaedra's heart skipped a beat. She hadn't expected Apollo to be this warm toward Cheick. It was one thing for Apollo to know people, but this felt different. Apollo's casual tone couldn't mask the underlying tension that lingered. Phaedra didn't need to look at Cheick to know that he was feeling the weight of the situation too. I didn't know you two were so close, Phaedra remarked lightly, though she could hear the unease in her own voice. Cheick shrugged, trying to keep things light. It's just the club scene, you know. People cross paths, say hi, but we don't exactly hang out. But as the conversation continued, Apollo's casual mention of their frequent hangouts, I'm with Cheick every week, caught Phaedra off guard. A chill ran down her spine as she processed the weight of the statement. She had always known that Apollo had a far-reaching circle of friends, but she hadn't realized that Cheick was a part of that inner circle. Really? Phaedra's voice was measured. She had to remind herself that she had moved on, that she didn't need to let this moment unravel her. Apollo's grin widened, a little too knowingly. Yeah, that's my boy. Phaedra quickly redirected the conversation. Well, we're all here to have fun, she said with a smile, but the underlying tension between her, Apollo, and Cheick simmered beneath the surface. She could tell that things weren't as simple as they appeared. Confessions and questions. Later, as the day progressed, the group found themselves gathered around a large dinner table in one of Key West's poshest restaurants. Laughter and conversation filled the air, but there was a notable discomfort when the topic of relationships came up. Everyone was eager to know more about Phaedra and Cheick's budding romance. Phaedra had always been an open book when it came to discussing her relationships, but there was something about Cheick that she wasn't ready to reveal. Perhaps it was the uncertainty of how things would evolve. Or maybe it was the nagging feeling that her ex-husband's shadow loomed larger than she cared to admit. So Cheick, one of the producers asked, turning the conversation to a more personal note. Are you looking for a wife? The question was simple, but loaded. Phaedra's smile faltered for just a second before she leaned forward, her voice calm and controlled. I'm not necessarily looking for a wife, but I'm open, Cheick replied, his eyes never leaving Phaedra's. The words hung in the air. Phaedra had heard them before, and she knew they didn't carry the same weight for her as they might have for someone else. For her, marriage wasn't an aspiration, not anymore. But before anyone could say anything further, Phaedra leaned back in her chair, her expression cool and composed. Do you still think it was a good idea to invite Cheick to the couple's trip? A producer's voice echoed in Phaedra's ear, cutting through the laughter and chatter. Phaedra's response was immediate, without hesitation. I'm not gonna answer that, she said, a light laugh escaping her lips. The way she said it, so matter-of-factly, was a reminder of just how much control she had over her own narrative. Phaedraparks wasn't a woman to be caught off guard or to let anyone pry too deeply into her personal life. She had been through too much, had seen too many betrayals and heartaches, to let her guard down in the face of a simple question. The room fell silent for a moment as the cast exchanged glances, unsure of how to proceed. But Phaedra wasn't fazed. She had shut the door, and there was no need to open it again. Reflections in the dark. As the evening wore on, Phaedra found herself alone in a quiet corner of the hotel, away from the others. The moonlight spilled softly through the window, casting delicate shadows across the room. She sipped her wine slowly, savoring the taste but not quite allowing herself to relax.